Hi everyone. I'm finally getting around to it, but this is me telling the story of my first Nuzlocke. Let me introduce myself. I am Atomic Puffin. I stream randomly on Twitch, but I've mostly started making TikTok videos and recording as my schedule just went, crazy with life. So a few things we need to get between us before you come at me in an angry mob. This was my first ever Nuzlocke. I mean, first ever. I'd always wanted to do one, but I never did one. And so I decided finally at the beginning of 2020, I think is when I did it, that I was going to do my first ever Nuzlocke. And I let chat, when I was streaming, pick my Nuzlocke game. And they voted on Platinum, a game I had never played before. And I also stupidly decided I was going to go into this completely blind, only going off of what I remembered. So, in hindsight, that was my biggest mistake, was going blind. But other than that, it was a lot of fun. Mistakes were definitely made, and I hope you enjoy watching this. I just also want to point out that this was at a time when I didn't have my lovely face cam. So you're not going to actually see me during this video. You're just going to hear my voiceover as I explain the very rough road to the Elite Four and the champion Cynthia. Enjoy! It begins with Goober dragging me to Route 201, and I can already tell I'm not going to like this dude constantly showing up. Rowan shows up to stop us from running into the grass, and as any responsible adult would, gifts us with dangerous animals to take along our journey. I choose Chimchar because he's the coolest one there, and I name him Saitama. So I beat Goober, no problem, and after going through the whole, this is a PC, this is a shop, go say bye to your mother that you're never going to see again, I buy some Pokeballs and double back to Route 201 for my first encounter. I really wanted a Starly, but was also okay with a Bidoof because I love Bidoof. And I got a Kricketot. So I named him Walnut and pretty much knew he was just going to be death fodder. On Route 202, I caught a Shinx I named Outlet, and at Lake Veracity, I caught a Bidoof I named Utility. As I said, I love Bidoof, and he meant more to me than an HM slave. I wanted to prove to the world that he was worth so much more. It's me and you, Utility. We're going to prove them wrong. So at Route 203, fought Goober again, where Saitama burned and scratched his Pokemon to death. Easy win. Went to get an encounter on Route 203, and... oh, no. No! Why is it an Abra? Why is it an Abra? No. So I have to catch this thing. And I only have... ah, damn it. Yeah. At Oreburg Gate, I caught Psyduck that I named Franklin after one of my IRL friends, and he loved him. I also caught a Machop at Route 207 that my daughter named Chop, and a Geodude in Oreburg Mine, which was named Rockbro. Oh, it's a Geodude. Alright, we'll catch a Geodude. Probably not going to use it, but we will catch a Geodude. Rourke was the first gym battle, and thanks to Franklin, his Geodude and Onix were KO'd. I brought out Chop against his Craniodose, but couldn't get that KO, so switched to Outlet to get an Intimidate off, and then brought out Franklin to finish it off. But Craniodose lived on 2 HP and hit Franklin, who also lived with 2 HP. So I threw out Death Fodder Walnut to take a hit while I healed. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that was coming. Which means Walnut can be the cannon. I'm sorry, Walnut. I wanted to give you a chance, but... oh! And he lived. This little bug lived on 1 HP against the odds, and I was starting to think maybe he was worth more than death fodder after all. Oh my god! No! And then it uses Pursuit! Oh, that's so messed up! Walnut wanted to live so bad. And then he died to a Pursuit. Meaning that the entire time I was playing hopscotch with my Pokemon, this thing could have killed any of them. Thank God Walnut was the chosen one. Chop finished off the Craniodose and we got our first gym badge with our first death. Goodbye, little Walnut. Moving on to Route 204, I got Zubat, I named SL Jackson, and while fighting trainer, Saitama evolved. We make it to Floroma, and at Valley Windworks encounter a Buizel I named Raft. Not gonna take it, but it's a good backup if something happens to Franklin. Now, I knew one thing about this upcoming fight, and that was that Mars has a Purugly that is notorious for ending runs if you don't know it's there. So I had Saitama burn the Zubat to a crisp and brought out Outlet to get off and Intimidate on the Purugly. And she also managed to live on 4 HP to also get a Leer off. I love you, Outlet.
Now, say my name.
Saitama came back out and got a crit kill. While grinding, Outlet evolved to Luxio and Utility evolved into B-Barrel. Inside Eterna Forest, I met Cheryl and was unhappy to have an unexpected AI tagging along. But I caught a Cascoon and named him Biscuit, so I was happy about that. I, unironically, love Dusthawks. Also found the Mossy Rock, so I knew where to go if I get an Eevee later. Because I knew if I wanted to play with an Eevee, I wanted to play with one of the new types. And Ice types suck. Then the worst happened. A frustrated Baneri killed Jackson, and my dreams of a Crobat on my team died. So I put Bisc on the team and immediately evolved it so he would learn Gust, so I would have him for the next fight. Then came the fight with Gardenia. Turtwig and Cherim were no problem for Saitama, and although Roserade almost killed Saitama, we're fine. Gym Badge 2, done. I doubled back for a Rotom I was told I could get in the old chateau, which I named Sprite. And I also got a Bronzor on Route 211. I named Frisbee. Unfortunately, while grinding up the team, Psyduck took a bite to the face and died. Whoops. So, welcome to the team, Frisbee. Back to the Galactic building, we ran through the grunts, smashing them with ease. Then the fight with Jupiter. Her Skuntank was super annoying, but Utility was able to get the final shot off and kill the damn thing. Outside, Cynthia shows up and gives us an egg, and we get on our bike to go down Cycling Road. And...
Don't wear socks, like, ever. You might get a chance to get the problem I had.
Well, maybe. It depends.
I know what I have.
Uh-huh. Alright. No! What happened? Utility died after a Starly lived on 2 HP from rollout. It had used Endeavor and then Quick Attack while Utility was locked into a rollout. Death number 4. And the first one that actually hurt. Oh, bye, Utility. You were never an HM slave to me. So, I decided to take the egg to hatch for the moment. Then, while fighting a hiker, his Geodude used self-destruct and killed Chop. Death number 5. I had lost 2 Pokemon on this stupid bridge. Back to the PC to get Raft, and after already wondering about my life choices, I also realized while rewatching the footage that I missed an encounter under the bridge. But on Route 208, I caught Roselia and named Freya and added her to the team. We also hatched Scrambled, the Togepi, as a future backup. Which I did not realize was going to be a Togepi. My dumbass thought it was an Eevee. We went into Fantina's gym, planning to mostly use Outlet, but she punched herself in the face twice and then died to a Psybeam crit. I was not doing very well at this point. Sprite was added to the team to replace her and hopefully carry the team through the gym. After retraining, I challenged Fantina, terrified senseless. Freya did not get us off to a good start, missing 2 stun spores and getting burned. Then her Haunter confused everyone and put them all to sleep, making me worry if this was going to be possible. So I baited out all their attacks to see what he had and then brought out Saitama to get the burn before being put back to sleep. So I just waited while it burned itself to death. Not exactly an expert strat, but it worked. Then her Miss Magmius. I knew this thing would have Psybeam, so I wanted to keep Saitama out of it and brought Freya back out, who luckily lived and hit her stun spore. Raft came out, but one Shadow Ball dropped her to 3 HP, and I knew she was going to have to be sacrificed. So against the wishes of the chat, who were screaming to let her live, oh god, Raft dies. I feel like I'm going to lose the Nuzlocke right now. Everyone's about to watch me lose. I can't. Somebody has to be sacrificed. If I switch out, I'm going to lose more Pokemon. Honestly, too, I don't even know if healing is going to help. I don't even know if this is gonna work out for me in the end. Yeah, Biscuit is the least fave, but I don't think I can even switch. Because if I switch, it's gonna get killed either way. And then I could lose 2 Pokemon without being able to heal. I let her die to get the free switch into Frisbee. He got the confusion off, but even trying as hard as he could, I had to let him die too. I know a lot of you are probably already calling me an idiot, but again, this was my first Nuzlocke. I was doing what I could to survive. So in a desperate attempt to not lose the Nuzlocke, I sent in a healed Saitama and hoped it wouldn't go for Psybeam or it would be paralyzed. Saitama got it in the red, but it went for Confuse Ray and managed to confuse Saitama. Meaning Saitama had to not hit himself in order to win. Sweating, I called for the attack, and thank God badge number 3 was ours. But not without the loss of 2 members. Scrambled was placed on the team, and I waited for the next encounter, hoping to finally get the Starly I wanted, but was interrupted by Goober. Again. It would have been so good. Ugh. That's fine. Oh, Barry, go fuck your... Or Goober. That's right, I named you Goober. Fuck off, Goober. No! 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 I just fucking... No! I just went through hell! I don't have time for your stupid ass. Are you fucking kidding me? Sprite killed his Staravian Prinplup, while Saitama burned his Roselia to ashes and punched his Ponyta into space. Which also made me wonder how he beat Fantina with that team. Cheating motherfucker. Happy news though, on Route 209, I got a Staravia and I named him Juicy. Inside Celestian Ruins, I picked up all the evolution stones and killed my unknown encounter. I avoided the counter on Route 210 because I wanted a Swablu and could only get it in the northern part of the route, as I was told by people in chat. Route 215 found a Marill and was happy for the water type I was missing. But Sprite killed it with a crit, so nope. Scrambled evolved into a Togetic, and I challenged the 4th gym. Despite the hate he was getting from chat because I chose to save him over Raft, Biscuit swept through most of the gym trainers with Juicy and Sprite as backup. So I have a boost of confidence when challenging Maylene, and led with Sprite to bait out her fighting types that couldn't touch him. He took down the Meditite and Machoke with ease, and while waiting for the Machamp I thought would be Pokemon number 3... Especially for the beginning, most of the gym leaders only have 3. It's a Lucario? Oh, fuck. This is... I don't like this matchup. Lucario is a scary fucking Pokemon. Oh god, I don't want to lose Saitama. Instant panic set in when Lucario came out. Because I legit forgot it was a Gen 4 Pokemon. I was kind of rethinking that blind run at this point. Had Biscuit come out to chip away at it, but it kept raising its attack, so I brought Sprite out to confuse it, then to Juicy, who got hit and lived on 12 HP. I sent out Freya to paralyze Lucario to give us a higher chance of it being stalled, but it broke out of its confusion and killed Freya. Freya, no! Biscuit came back out and got it down in the red, but was also killed. I had to heal Saitama as the only member who wouldn't be KO'd at this point. So I sent in Scrambled, which hurt because it meant I was sacrificing my future Togekiss. Saitama was unfortunately still paralyzed, but I couldn't waste a turn to heal him and had to just go for it. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. I have to hope he doesn't paralyze. Come on. Oh my god. No, it healed! Saitama, don't be paralyzed. Come on, crit it. Kill it, please, God. Saitama, kill it. Oh my god, we lived. Oh my god. We lost 2 Pokemon again. But we beat the gym. Oh, we can't keep going like this. Badge number 4, done. But wow, did that hurt. Somehow, my crazy Nuzlocke was still going, but half the team was gone. I decided to put my level 8 Rockborough on the team when I realized he would be an Earthquake user, and just put Spectra and Jingle the Chingling temporarily as cannon fodder. Which, rewatching now, I think I seriously messed up and caught 2 encounters in Mount Coronet, because I can't find the note where I caught this thing. And later I know I caught a Clefairy there, so whoops. I kind of broke the rules a little bit, but I didn't mean to, in all complete honesty. So we're just going to call it making up the encounter I completely skipped under the bridge, and I hope that people don't roast me too hard for that. Route 214, I found a Houndour that Rockbro immediately killed as some kind of proof on why he deserved to stay on the team. But whatever, I got another encounter at Valor Lakefront, which was also a Houndour. This one I caught and named Sheba. On Route 213, I found a Shellos and was over the moon, as I think it's one of the best Pokemon of Gen 4. And blue Shellos equals best Shellos. I named her Delta, and she was my good, thick girl. I also caught a Kurogunk I named Pixel on Route 212, and a Wooper in the Safari Zone that I don't remember the name of. Doing some serious grinding, I evolved Saitama into Fernape, Juicy to Staraptor, Delta to Gastrodon, and Sheba to Houndoom. We weren't playing now. I also fished in Pastoria and caught a Magikarp I named Wasabi because I'm super basic. We were challenged by Goober outside the gym, so we annihilated him, of course, and entered. Even though Maylene wiped out most of my team, I was overly confident going in against Crasher Wake, because my team was better stacked against his water types. Sprite took out Gyarados and Floatzel, while Juicy took out the Quagsire. Badge number 5. Much easier than the last one. I easily took out the Galactic Grunt for setting off a bomb, and Cynthia showed up again and sent me on a delivery mission, also giving me the potion I needed to get past the Psyducks and go for that Swablu I wanted. Finally heading to Route 210 and getting to the exact area I needed, I found a goddamn Noctowl. I wanted to name it Disappointment, but it wouldn't fit, so I named it Failure instead. I made it to Celeste Town, and after running around lost, Team Galactic. Okay. Where is this lady I'm supposed to be talking to? We'll go take some meds and relax. Yeah, I will right now. I'm just trying to find stupid... her grandma. She says she's super bossy. Maybe she's in here like the only house in town. No, that's definitely not her grandma. Where is her grandma? People. Not that many old people around here. Ugh. Going to... What's it gonna be? Are you gonna mess with me? Yeah. That means you're taking on the world. No, the universe. No, the multi-universe. No, Detroit. Wait. I finally figured out where to find Cynthia's grandma and give her the damn charm. Then Cyrus showed up and gave his big moment I'm the bad guy speech that I skipped all the text for while talking to chat, so I have no idea what he's about. Except that he's an ugly motherfucker. Saitama took out Sneasel, no problem. Sprite took out the Golbat, and I left him there for the Murkrow, thinking he'd be fine. Oh, I'm sorry, Raygrad. I get like that sometimes, like, super shy. That's okay, you just gotta work your way up to it. Just start with, like, casual conversations with people and, you know, see if you have similar interests. No, Sprite! Oh, Cyrus, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna curb stomp you. He was 10 levels above it. But I now had a severe determination to tear Cyrus apart. I put Spurt, the Pichu I caught in Trophy Garden, on the team and was pretty thankful I had an electric backup. But the stupid rat died immediately afterwards while I was trying to level grind him, so that didn't work. I caught the Garbage Mon, Mr. Mime, on Route 218 against my better judgment because I wanted death fodder and named him Trash. Inside Canalave City, I fought Goober again, and again, beat him into the dirt. Also, this time when I was level grinding the team, I finally remembered that there should be an Eevee I can get in this game. So I looked it up and backpedaled to get it, and then evolved it into a Leafeon and named him Pepsi. Then I went back to challenge the 6th gym, leading with Sheba to get her some experience, and while fighting a trainer's Steelix, you don't have to pay for the premium or anything like that, and then you can go through and set up what you want to do on it, like the betting and all that stuff. Man. Come on, Sheba. Here we go. Let's go. Turn that off before I forget. Oops. Let's bring that back. And that back up. Oh no, what happened? I was annoyed at the sudden death because I had wanted backup for Saitama in the gym and didn't really want to add trash back on the team. So under the advice of a viewer, I added Pixel to the team and evolved it immediately, but made sure she learned Poison Jab first. Fighting Brian, I was nervous because I had just had a death in his gym and was having flashbacks to Fantina. Saitama took out the Magneton and chipped down the Steelix, but got hurt by Earthquake, so I had to heal him. Luckily, Juicy was able to take a crit Flash Cannon, and Saitama finished off the Steelix. His final Pokemon was Bastiodon, and I was worried with how tanky this thing is. Saitama didn't even scratch its defense, so I put in Pixel hoping a revenge would do it. And holy shit. I don't know if we're faster, I really hope not. Alright. Okay. Yes! Badge number 6, ours. Welcome to the family, Pixel. After being sent to Lake Valor by Rowan, I found Saturn, and although Rockbro almost died, we were okay and we kept going. Back at Lake Veridity, I find Lucas and Mars in the most intense staring contest I've ever seen, so I step in and do what was supposed to be his job. Pixel was quickly growing in my heart as she took out Purr Ugly like it was hot garbage. Mount Coronet, I caught that questionable Clefairy I named Robert, and on Route 216, a Sneasel I named Razy because of a misclick. Right after, fought of Mr. Mime and forgot Pixel was 4 times weak to Psychic, and it was hailing. Death number 15. Apparently I'm not allowed to love anything or bad things happen. And this one was 1000% on me. I should have remembered that Pixel was a poison and fighting type, and that it was hailing. And of all the Pokemon to lose against, it was a goddamn Mr. Mime. So I picked up Robert, since Clefable is a buff girl and could be taught Ice Beam in the future. Route 217, I caught a Snorunt, and Acuity Lakefront caught Swinub. But since ice types are kinda garbage tier, I knew if I had to add them, I might as well just give up. Then came the time to challenge Candace, and I was once more scared because Saitama was the only Pokemon who could do anything. Sneasel and Piloswine were no problem. Next was Frostlass, which in Hail, with Double Team, is super ass to deal with. I brought out Juicy to get an Intimidate off for getting type advantage once again, and he was hit with a Blizzard and killed. Which I thought it wouldn't have because I had looked it up, and she wasn't at the right level. I swear these cheating ass gym leaders. Although I guess a TM could have been the case. But after that, Abomasnow went down to 1 hit, so badge number 7 was mine. But I was still pretty pissed off that Juicy had been killed when I so wanted a Staraptor since the beginning. So Meat Shield was brought in, and I headed over to Lake Acuity to catch up with Goober. I find him after having lost to Jupiter, which, again, makes me wonder how he even got this far in his badges. And before going to the HQ, I catch a Goldeen I named Victory for extra good luck, and evolved Robert before heading off. Inside the HQ, Rockbro was almost killed again. Dude, why do you like living on the edge so much? And in a double battle, Trash got killed on accident before I could fully use it as a switch-in. Oh well. I was going to just keep going with only 5 Pokemon, but was informed, once again by my helpful chat, that I could get a gift Porygon, so I thought, why not, and named him Scale. Fighting Cyrus again at the top of the building, after not paying attention to his speech for a second time, I was determined to get revenge for Sprite. His Sneasel, well, any Sneasel, was just murked by Saitama, and Robert took out Crobat. His last Pokemon, Honchkrow, the Murkrow that had killed Sprite, was once more a problem and nearly wiped my team. But Delta got the final shot, barely living to do so. Then we had to fight Saturn, but after Cyrus's Honchkrow, his Pokemon went down with ease and I released the Lake Spirits. I was riding high and feeling really good about my team, which always ends in disaster. So, poor Robert. I forgot that this is Gen 4, not Gen 6, and sent a normal type against a fighting type while leveling. Oops. I went to Fuego Ironworks to get the flamethrower TM and hoped for a Magnemite encounter since I couldn't get past the dude blocking me on Route 222. I was praying to all the Pokemon gods that so far had been laughing at me for a break. And yes, I got my Magnemite and I named him Fridge.
Oh, thank you, merciful God.
I immediately evolved it to Magneton and then Magnezone. Then I made it to the top of the mountain and was ready to take out Mars and Jupiter in a double battle. Only for Goober to show up at the worst moment and help. Goober, I don't need your help. You already lost once to these people. Get the fuck out of here. I'm here to get my revenge, Goober. I swear to God, Goober, if you kill one of my fucking Pokemon, I'm gonna find a way to shiv you. So, I may have accidentally killed his Munchlax and Rapidash, but I still beat the two and was ready to go to the Distortion World after Cyrus. Also, considering I had no idea what to do, I am quite proud that I didn't get super lost and only messed up once when pushing the boulders into the holes. At the end, I stopped Cyrus from doing whatever he thought he was going to accomplish, and began my final fight with him. He led with Houndoom that Delta washed away. He immediately switched to Gyarados, so I sent in Fridge, not knowing his Gyarados had Earthquake. No one else could do anything to it, so I sent in Pepsi, knowing an Ice Fang was coming because of what had happened to Spurt, but I had no other choice and needed to try something. But like a boss, Pepsi took the super effective ice move like it was nothing. So I immediately realized I can still win this because Pepsi just learned Last Resort. So I ran through the other three moves, making sure Pepsi stayed alive, and went for the kill. Pepsi, I fucking love you, and I take back everything I ever said about Leafeon. After that, Scale took out Crobat, and once again his Honchkrow was an asshole, but Delta took it out after a struggle. His final Pokemon, Weavile. Seriously, why does anyone have these things on their team? Oh well, Saitama enjoys the free punching bags. As for Giratina, are you guys ready for the showdown of the century? The end-all be-all fight between Delta and Giratina? You guys ready for this? Are you ready to see how expert Delta handles this? Watch how Delta handles this. Boom! Delta takes it down. Master Balled a god and named it I'm Sorry, because I was dooming it to live out eternity in a box. After everything that had happened to me before in the Nuzlocke, walking away with only one death and it being a newer member anyways, hell, I'll take it. Besides, I caught a Dusclops right after, so woo! Knife, welcome to the team. Finally able to get to Route 222, I didn't really care that when I found the Electabuzz, it was killed by Delta. I wasn't crying. I arrived at Sunny Shore and Flint pops up out of nowhere and asks me, a random kid he just met, to cure the gym leader's depression. Give him a battle that's so hot it will reignite his passion for battling. Counting on you, Hotshot. That's a lot of pressure to put on someone you just met. I want you to beat the gym leader and make him bring back his spirit and revitalize him from the deep depression he's in. It's like, dude, I'm 10. After grinding up the team a bit more, I went into the gym and threw the annoying ass puzzle. I was ready to get that final gym badge, and honestly still impressed that I was alive. I planned to sweep most of the team with Rockbro and Delta since they were immune to electric moves. Volkner's Jolteon and Raichu went down to Earthquake. His Luxray was next, and after some healing back and forth, Delta murdered the Luxray, and it went down to his final Pokemon. Electivire was all that was left, and I had Knife come out to try and freeze it with Ice Punch, but no. So I sent out Saitama to go for the burn, wanting to hinder it any way I could, but nope. But it turned out that I didn't even need to, because after 2 hits, Saitama killed the Electivire like a champ. So I was overly cautious for nothing. Badge number 8, and no deaths. The team was perfect, and I felt we were ready. On Route 223, I caught a tentacle just because and named it Lucky because I like to tempt fate and don't know when to learn my lesson. Because while inside of Victory Road, at the last stretch, I almost got Knife killed. Oh. It's just, look at that thing. It screams Psychic type. And it's not. Every time. I do that every fucking time. I don't see it. Pink does. Oh, I can see it. Yeah, like almost every fucking pink Pokemon is shiny. Or is Psychic. Psychic or Fairy. Those are your only 2 options if you're pink. Oh, man. Saitama was killed by a Porygon 2. I was not okay. My heart legitimately hurt, and I had to try so hard not to cry on stream. My starter, the one who had lived on 4 HP against Lucario when I thought it was all over, the big brother that protected us no matter what, tripped right at the finish line. Gone right before the Elite Four. Everyone in chat was begging me to revive him and not let him die, but I couldn't do that, because as much as it hurt, I wanted to finish this Nuzlocke. After that death, inside the league building, I was looking over my options, because I had no plan. Oh, the temptation is strong in this one. But no. While searching, I noticed a floppy little fish up in the corner that I had actually legitimately forgotten I had caught a while back. So I took the level 15 Wasabi as my only chance against Cynthia's Garchomp and went to hardcore grind the team. Then it was time for the finale. One way or another, the Nuzlocke was gonna end. I had to curb stomp Goober one last time, wishing he had just stayed curled up in a ball at Lake Acuity and entered the Elite Four doors. Since Saitama's death had hit me so hard, and I wasn't going to reset if I lost, I decided to throw out the blind run and look up the Elite Four to strategize what I was going to do. I decided my only goal was to at least make it to Cynthia. So I leveled the team up with only that in mind, and that meant I was over-leveled for the Elite Four members. But I wanted to at least have a chance to win. So feel about this how you want, but after everything, I wanted to at least make it to Cynthia, and then if I lost, I would accept it. First was Aaron, who uses bug Pokemon. Good for him breaking the norm. Rockbro knocked out his Yanmega, awesome Pokemon, and his Drapion. Knife was able to take out his Scissor and Vespiquen, while Wasabi killed the Heracross. One down. I wasn't worried about Bertha because Delta was our ultimate MVP and drowned her entire team. Afro Man was next, and I was also pretty stacked against his team, so no worries. The only thing even close to a problem was 2 of his Pokemon knowing Solar Beam, but luckily with Magmortar we switched in Pepsi to take it, and Delta swept the Rapidash without having to. The final member was the only one I was worried about, and I didn't have much in answer for his psychic types, except Knife, and it was the final step before Cynthia. The battle with Lucian began, and I had Scale out front to take out what he could to help. He was able to take out the garbage, and Knife took out the Gallade. Espeon ended up being more of a problem than I realized because Signal Beam could actually do a lot to Knife. So I brought out Delta to poison it and hoped I could stall it out, but Lucian had a full restore. Delta still took it out, but it took longer than I would have liked. Alakazam was next, and anyone who doesn't know that Alakazam is a monster clearly has never played the older gens. Here, Scale had to be sacrificed in order to heal, and Wasabi took it out because luck was actually on our side for once, and it didn't go for Energy Ball, which it had. Then Wasabi took out Bronzong, and we were at the end. The final moment that for so many battles I didn't think we'd make it to. But there she was. The killer of dreams, Cynthia. Only one of us was walking away from this battle a champion. Spiritomb was first, and as it has no weaknesses, I had Pepsi chip away at it, but I forgot to double check its move pool, and Pepsi ended up taking a Silver Wind. Luckily living, but we did have to switch. I brought out Rockbro next, but of course he got outsped and was killed by Dark Pulse. Death number 22. Delta was next, and after spamming Surf, she was able to take it out. Now that that nightmare was out of the way, I was ready for the rest of her team that actually had weaknesses. Knife killed Roserade, but was severely weak in doing so, which meant that when Lucario came out, I had to resort to Wasabi and pray that she lived a Stone Edge while I healed Knife. Once more, the Nuzlocke gods were merciful as the Lucario missed, giving me the switch back into Knife. But while trying to bait the Stone Edge so we could survive a Shadow Ball and kill it, Lucario got the crit and Knife died. Death 23. I really started hating Lucario after this Nuzlocke, I gotta admit. This also meant that I literally only had Wasabi to use against Garchomp without either Scale's Icy Wind or Knife's Ice Punch. Delta came out taking a hit that put her in the yellow, but she still got the kill. And then here it comes. Garchomp. The one threat I wasn't sure Wasabi could take out, and if she didn't, there was no way we could win. But Garchomp missed his Dragon Rush, and with 2 Ice Fangs, Wasabi took out the Dragon of Death. We were still in this. Togekiss came out after, and somehow Wasabi lived a Shockwave and hit 2 Thunders in a row. Unfortunately, Togekiss lived in the red and went for another Shockwave. And Wasabi still lived it. We both healed, and Wasabi wasn't lucky enough to hit a 3rd Thunder. Since Pepsi and Delta had to be healed, I knew that I should let Wasabi die. But after surviving like that, I didn't want to call it yet, so I healed her and called for another Thunder again. But she missed, and I knew it was pointless. Then she lived. Wasabi was a legend, trying her best to take out this Togekiss for her family. But even her luck had to run out. She was able to get Togekiss to half health with another Thunder before dying to a crit. The MVP of the Nuzlocke came out and was ready to finish what her fallen brothers and sisters had started. Togekiss survived the Sludge Bomb crit, but luckily Cynthia didn't go for another heal, and Delta took it out. All that was left was Milotic. And then, just like that, it was over. The first Nuzlocke was completed, and we had become champions of the Sinnoh region. Only Pepsi and Delta survived at the end, but without the whole team and Saitama watching from above, we never would have made it there in the first place. Looking back at the struggles and mistakes I made, which yes, there were a lot, I'm still really happy I did this. Nuzlocke always seems so stressful to me, and because I get illogically attached to fictional creatures, I was worried how I would feel doing this, but I also had so much fun and really loved going on this wild adventure. There were so many ups and downs doing this, and in the end, I wouldn't change a thing. This also was a great icebreaker for me, and now that I've gotten rid of the imaginary pressure of doing my first one, I'm definitely going to continue doing Nuzlocke in the future. So thanks for going along with me on this crazy ride, and to those that were there when it all happened, thanks for putting up with my stupidity and bad battling skills. Although I don't think those are ever going to improve, I hope you guys will continue to stick with me on future trials. Good night, everyone. I love you guys.